Hi everyone, it's Mark Christopher, and what an exciting time here as we're getting so close to a big vote for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the class of 2013. What's unique about the Northwest, and I've shared this often on radio, and for those of you who come to the site of Heart often as well, is it's very rare. Weird to think in the Northwest, only 2 recording acts have ever been inducted, Jimi Hendrix and not long ago, The Ventures as well. But now we have something very fortunate, and that is the year of 2011 and now 2012, Heart has 2 consecutive years of nomination. And by you watching this video, it helps into getting recognized and getting awareness that here's a band that really has met the criteria. At least 25 years, you guys, since you've had a hit record released, and contributions and influence to the music known as rock and roll. Roger Fisher is with us here. Good to see you, my friend. We got Steve Fossen here as well. And the smiles are here. You're wondering, is this time for Heart to get inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What do you think? Is it deserving, Roger?
Well, it sure seems like it's going to happen this year. I mean, this is the first time in the Hall of Fame's history that it's been open to the public for voting, and we're in 3rd place, so it looks promising.
Okay, Stephen, we talked last year at this time. Hopes were high. I know, and you and Mike DeRozier were with me at a casino show, and you're like, Mark, what can we do now? And it pretty much is out of your hands now, other than we just got to get the word out to everybody to check out websites, play the music on the radio, and just keep talking Heart, Heart, Heart till that vote comes out the first week of December.
Well, we have no problem with Heart being played on classic radio. It's played all the time. I hear it every day, and I'm so happy that it's still being played, and it's so nice to hear like a Beatles song, a Heart song, and then a Led Zeppelin song, a Deep Purple song. It's just validates what we did.
That kind of experience when you hear yourself next to the Beatles and Zeppelin is similar to the way we'll feel if we actually do get inducted into this thing. It's such a position of honor, and so grateful to be here.
Yeah, and people wonder, of course, we've had personnel changes through the years, but the nucleus of the Power of Heart there was in the 70s. You guys were young, having a great time. Here was this mega sound that was a hit all around the country and around the world.
It was funny because, you know, me and Foz put an ad in the paper that Ann Wilson answered, and that's how we hooked up. And I'll tell you what, the very first time we got together in that room where we first experienced each other musically, God, it was electric. It was just, we just knew there was something really special there.
Okay, so then how did the other sister come aboard? How did that work?
Well, she was Ann's sister. And she was, she was a musician also at the time, but she was finishing up her college, I believe.
Yeah, down near Portland.
So she was busy doing that, and so we just we were a quintet.
Nancy was, she did solo gigs and was real self-sufficient. You know, she handled herself just fine. And Ann met my brother, and they fell in love. And Mike kind of suggested that Ann move up to Vancouver, where he was living, up in Canada. And so she moved up there, and Steve and I had debts to pay down here, so we kept playing in the United States for a while until we paid off all our debts. And then we moved up there to join Ann and Mike. And then we had that's where we started that permutation of Heart.
Okay, but it wasn't called Heart yet.
Oh no, we had several other groups called Heart before we put the ad in the paper for Ann.
Okay.
And
so was Nancy then just a groupie? She could play guitar and she just followed the shadow of her sister and this group of yours?
Well, she kind of watched from the wings, and when we had established ourselves as the hottest, most popular group in Vancouver, and we had a recording contract, then she thought it was a good time to come and join.
So it just worked out well. So I'm hearing the influence now is that we probably didn't have a lot of bands at the time, rock bands, with 2 women there in the front.
No, I can't.
I mean, who was your competition? Who was the parallel
Well,
to
there
at
was
the time?
Janis Joplin and Big Brother.
Well, but that was Janis alone.
Sure. Yeah, no, there was never any, I can't think of any...
Well, Fleetwood Mac.
Right.
Fleetwood Mac, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So limited, so...
That's great company.
Yeah, it's a great company. So here's a major influence, part of the criteria for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. When did you know this is working?
Well, in all the permutations of Heart that we had, we always knew it was working. But boy, with Ann and Nance being such great songwriters and having that familial harmonic blend in their voices, boy, they just brought so much to the table. And it's really an interesting thing. A great rock group is like a chemical equation where you've got it's only going to be gold. It's only going to be this real special compound if you have these ingredients in just the right balance.
It's the charisma and the chemistry.
That's the key, sure.
And groups, especially from that era, went nowhere unless they had charisma and chemistry.
Yeah, and so Ann and Nance probably would have been very successful with whatever musicians they had, but because they had Steve and I, it was a certain thing that was really great because, geez, we had our minds made up that we were going to the toppermost of the poppermost.
Okay. But was it tough, though, with this relationship with women in the band?
Not
Well,
really.
Okay.
No, because we were so like-minded. We all wanted the same thing.
Okay. When the time came, though, that we were going to have a personnel change, how did that come about? I mean, did you guys have okay, if anything ever happens...
Well, when any band makes it big, your managers and lawyers and stuff get together and they make you, or they don't make you, but you're encouraged to sign a partnership agreement that spells out what happens if people leave and what exactly will happen, and it's all spelled out in the agreement, and that's how it was followed, and it's still followed to this day.
Right. So my brother Mike was with Ann. They were a couple. And then I was with Nancy. We were a couple. And when we were putting this Heart partnership agreement together, we made sure that Ann and Nance got 51% of the partnership. So
Boy, guys,
that
so
was
generous you are. But you guys seem okay after these years.
Oh, what are you going to do, you know? We had a great experience. Royalties are still good. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to have done something that so few people do.
So let's talk about some of the highlights. Steve, maybe you can remind us. Did we make it on with Dick Clark Bandstand?
Not Dick Clark, Midnight Special.
Midnight Special, we do remember that. What was that like for you guys? I mean, you're talking a major...
It's a fantastic
telecast
experience,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a point in our career when we were really hot. So when we played, we'd been playing so much that we were just so tight and so good and so rehearsed, and we just were powerful.
Did Heart turn out to be what you expected with the vision at the beginning, when everything was just gelling?
Well, I think every time you have a vision, it always has to be modified as circumstances. But I mean, we envisioned making records and doing concerts and stuff, and that's exactly what happened. So
I always thought that we would be a lot more popular than we were, and that was always a disappointment for me. But, you know.
But once in a while, we go to a movie, and suddenly here's a soundtrack, and here's a clip of music from Heart. You know, I'm thinking of one of the Shrek movies.
Yeah.
And here's a clip of Barracuda.
Yeah.
I mean, that has to kind of get you like, hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, what's it mean to you? Once Heart gets inducted?
well, it's like it's the pinnacle of what rock musicians can get, basically, as far as accolades from their peers and the public.
Yeah, how many humans are in the Rock Hall of Fame right now? 630, something like that?
Yes.
So we're going to
Under
be
700.
we're going to be one of 700 people in rock history to be in this special club.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
Have you ever seen the placement of Heart? There is a master list that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation has of groups that are eligible. Have you ever seen where Heart was placed
No.
on that list?
No.
Okay,
Have
I was just curious. I've seen the list. I did not look up Heart this time, though. I didn't want to jinx the whole thing. But again, to have 2 consecutive nominations, there's some tough competition there. But again, first week of December is where we find out. The vote is worldwide right now with many people in the industry. Many who have been inducted get an honor to vote. So the whole key thing is the more active you are online, looking up the history of Heart, playing their music, downloading their music, it all will have effect to these people that have control, gentlemen, of the destiny and the success of Hart for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I got to thank Steve Fossen for all these years. I mean, we started playing our instruments together, and we had a dream. And I mean, it's so funny because anybody that happens to see this, if you're young, and you think that major success is unreachable, it's just not true, because we're just like anybody else. We these kids that picked up guitars and played, and we had our dream, and we had our heroes, the Beatles, etc. And geez, we did it, and we wouldn't have done it. I mean, probably wouldn't have done it had it not been for Howard Leese, Ann Wilson, Nancy Wilson, Mike DeRozier, and Mike Fisher.
And Mike Flicker.
And Mike Flicker, yeah. It was such a great team of people.
That's great. All right. Fingers crossed, everybody. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching.